Yuya's Delver deck almost to the card, just swapping in some Restoration Angels. Should be,
Yeah, he cut... Oh, he still has the Spectral Flight even, yeah.
Yep. So we should see a little bit of a battle of two slightly non-traditional Delver decks, although for the most part, Crowe's... Not even Delver, I guess mid-range decks. Because Crowe's deck definitely getting close. Like, it's kind of the space halfway between the straight-up normal Delver decks that we see now and Yuya's deck versus Chris Andersen playing the Esper mid-range deck. It's interesting to see how far the Solar Flare has gone, going from Solar Flare to Esper Control to now adopting just so many of the elements of Delver in an effort to beat them.
Yep. This deck actually originated from... oh, this is interesting. Oh, he's probing, huh? Sorry, I missed that probe. Josh starts with a turn 1
It originated
probe.
where?
Sam Black's win. John Pennick played Sam Black's deck in PTQ Sam Black's finals appearance with blue-white midrange. John Pennick played blue-white midrange in the PTQ the next day and decided he wanted Doomblades in the deck almost immediately. And that's where Chris started with
the
his
good
deck
doctor.
Yeah.
Dr. Pennick. So, John pondering.
After
Josh
saw that
pondering.
probe.
Sorry, names are football.
Oh, okay. Chris starts with Delver of Secrets.
Now, John does have...
sorry, we had the names flipped.
Yeah, so it was...
I got it.
Right. I was going to say, didn't think there were any Delver of Secrets in Andersen's deck, but he does have a Go for the Throat, and Delver of Secrets, at least he used to, had a throat.
Yes.
Now, what do you think about the whole Delver versus no Delver in these sorts of decks?
It's interesting. Like you can kind of get people because the metagame is becoming so inbred, which I actually personally predicted at Origins I was talking about. But these decks, especially like notice the gut shot. Like Josh has a gut shot in his hand right now, and against Chris, it's very, very light. Like it's just not a good card. He has only a handful of targets for it.
Now, it's still not the worst to hit a Blade Splicer at a key moment or a Snapcaster Mage. But it's not good. It's not as good as hitting your opponent's Delver.
And it's going to be difficult since probes will always let you know when that kind of thing might happen. This probe reveals a Mana Leak, and that looks like a Blade Splicer? No, Restoration Angel.
It's interesting. Andersen doesn't have any gut shots of his own.
Nope.
He's just relying on his 3 Go for the Throats and 2 Doomblades, as well as his 4 Lingering Souls.
Cards he said he's been very happy with today. He also claims he is 10-1 against Delver with this deck so far, having 7-1 at the Invitational with it in Standard.
Wow. I know Michael Jacob said very similar things, just about the reason you play this deck is because of it Doomblade just gives you the advantage versus other Delver decks. At least that's the theory. So far it's been panning out.
Quickly keeps that Ponder.
Still no white mana.
No white mana. And given that Seachrome Coast so frequently comes into play tap, that can be like a real problem if you hit it for that Restoration Angel. Obviously we know Chris isn't because he probably would have kept a Seachrome Coast when he kept that Ponder. I imagine he'll be Thought Scouring if he doesn't have to leak something.
Josh still doesn't have any board presence himself.
No.
I mean, going long, who do you think this favors?
I think it has to favor Chris, right? Like, Josh doesn't even have Sword of War pieces, which is the most threatening card.
He has Runechanter's Pike. It seems like that's his big endgame, is the ability to make any creature lethal with Runechanter's Pike.
Sure, but the handful, like just 5 Doomblade effects plus Snapcasters plus Restoration Angels, it seems like it's going to be real hard for him to actually like score a hit. And not to mention Lingering Souls provides just 100 blockers, even though he can't trade with that card.
Okay. And what do you think about Geist of St. Traft in this matchup? I mean, obviously we're seeing the split between, Geist of St. Traft versus Blade Splicer.
Yeah, I personally like Geist a lot more. I like the aggression, but I think that with all of the flash threats and Lingering Souls, it's going to be hard to land a Geist hit, or at least land enough of them. Although it's probably still one of his best weapons.
Yeah, I mean, Chris has 2 Phantasmal Images, which helps a little bit keep that under control. But
Josh asked for a quick peek at Chris's graveyard, perhaps planning for future Snapcaster shenanigans here. Chris has hit white mana in the interim with Plains. And Josh is going for Geist Mana Leak.
Real casual, like tries to slip the Geist of St. Traft and
see your graveyard, I'll just put this one down. And
wow, is this Gideon?
That is Gideon.
No, still only one
He's
white.
only one white.
But he
has a
sneaks
Sun
the
Titan too
Restoration
there, I
Angel in
think.
while he has the champ.
With the 3/4 on the board, he can take a lead in attacks.
Josh a little light on land, hoping to cantrip and find some. Can you trip like I do?
I think I see another gut shot in that ponder.
Gut shot's definitely not what he's looking for right now, but
If there's a land, he might have to
if
keep.
there's land, he might just have to keep. And he decides to shuffle. It looked like it was 2 blanks and a land.
I think that's
And
what it was.
at this point, he wants the land, but not so bad that he wants to lose 2 draw phases for it.
I mean, if you get the land but still lose the game, then that's not the ponder you want to keep.
Exactly.
My favorite ponder quote is from Dave Shields, which is he said that if he doesn't shuffle his ponders, he doesn't feel like they did anything.
Sometimes it almost feels like if you can, like I like just not shuffling because it's like Vendilion click.
It's
You look at their hand-
demoralizing,
It's like,
yeah.
well, no, it's not even just that. When you Vendilion click and you let your opponent keep it, you know all of their cards.
Yeah.
You can just plan around it. Who cares what the cards are as long as you know what they are?
That's
The
fair.
same thing can be true with Ponder sometimes, where you're like, I don't really care which cards I have, just as long as I know which ones they're going to be.
Looks like Chris kept another white source and a Doomblade on top of his deck.
Excellent. The Seachrome Coast this turn gives him some very powerful plays. From now on, every time...
He didn't play it.
Wow! A little nervous, forgot to play his land.
Ugh, that's a little yucky.
Definitely, considering it comes into play tap.
Yeah.
However, still have a very, very close game. He knew as soon as he shipped the turn what he did, but
Yeah.
all he's got to do is
Saw him
just play it from
drum
here.
a little
You know,
bit.
just
Yeah.
play it cool.
It can also make Josh a little confused because he knows that Chris kept a ponder, and so when he plays Seachrome Coast next turn, he's going to assume that that was the top card of the deck. So Chris theoretically must have kept a card that he would be interested in playing this turn instead of the land from the ponder. If Josh gets to that level.
Absolutely. No. That's definitely a very good point.
Josh with his own angel.
And we're going to see
and he
another
gets
cantrip.
full value from his angel with a
Oh,
cantrip on
this is the old
Snapcaster.
Gitaxian Fold reveals.
Awkward.
Huh.
Josh is writing that one down, thinking it over. And these are important cards for Josh to know about because they both require him to be very careful. Either one on the board is incredibly problematic.
Yeah. It would definitely be a very, very different game here if Chris could just tap out for Sun Titan or Gideon.
Yep.
And he makes
Blade
Blade
Splicer.
Splicer.
I think the next card down is a Doomblade, if I saw his ponder correctly. Tim Ayton making an appearance on camera for us. As the
As he
Golem
is
token.
wont to do. Definitely in the Hall of Fame of curmudgeons in
Yeah.
Magic.
I think Josh just drew a mutagenic growth.
Interesting. Is he going to be able to bash his Restoration Angel through?
I don't think Chris would block anyway because he probably knows to expect Gutshot or mutagenic growth in this kind of
very good point.
situation. So, I mean, Gutshot's more common, but the growth, thanks to Yuya, is going to be on people's radars.
And they both have enough life that it's not really that big of a deal.
Right. Having the Angel on board, especially for once you're trying to play and protect Gideon, is going to be a pretty big deal. I've actually gone to 2 mutagenic growths on Magic Online, playing a very similar deck.
Yeah, I think we saw one match earlier where somebody had 2 mutagenic growths. It's interesting to see these decks that are like just blue-white, but with red cards, green cards, and black cards because of the wonderful Phyrexian mechanic.
That was one of my favorite hands I drew at GP Orlando, which obviously you attended. Had a hand that was nice. Dismember, Gut Shot, Mutagenic Growth, Geist to Saint Trapped. Seachrome Coast. Easy keep.
So Josh at this point, playing around the permutations. He knows his opponent has Sun Titan or Gideon online next turn. What can he do about it?
Well, they're both very powerful and both gonna really cause Josh problems if he does not have a way to stop one of them.
Does Andersen
Can't really see
have
his hand.
any cards that cost 3 or less in his graveyard at the moment?
Thinking back on it, I don't recall him having such a card. No, I don't think so. I think we go for the third at a Delver. Did something to a Snapcaster. Geist got Mana Leak, so maybe we traded. I don't think so though. Geist. And there's the Doomblade.
So now are we going to see a Gideon?
Oh, he does have lands from that Thought Scour.
Hmm.
That's what we forgot.
That could potentially be valuable.
If he does Sun Titan getting back a land, he'll be able to Gideon and Doomblade on the next turn. He's going to go for the Gideon, it looks like.
I think that's what he's going to do.
Yep. And I know he's worried about combat here because it's going to be very difficult for him to protect everything else. Well, we have the wrong number on our Gideon right now.
Oh, no, there's 2 dice.
Oh, there are. Oh, there is. I thought that was his pink hat. That's my mistake.
Yep. Thank you for that.
Thank you for the rub-ins from the director. Vapor Snag
on the Restoration Angel. Is Gideon just going to bite the dust?
It looks like this is going to be.
Well, at least he'll be knocked down
Gideon.
to 1, right?
Yeah. And that's assuming. Well, we know he has the gut shot still to kill the Blade Splicer, so there's only 1 blocker. So that's going to be a dead Gideon.
You're right.
If he does gut shot the Blade Splicer, he'll either need to lose the Geist to the Golem token or Mutagenic Growth to protect it. Which I have a feeling we know which one of those he's going to do.
Wow. Excellent turn by Josh.
Seems to be thinking it through, making sure this combat's as favorable as possible. I guess he does theoretically have to fear the Unknown card in Chris's hand.
Yep. He knows the Angel, the Sun Titan. He doesn't know about the Doomblade, but it could be anything.
Yep.
Even a boat.
Even a boat. Snapcaster Mage on Snag. He's playing it safe. He's just going to kill everything.
Wow.
Uh-oh. Maybe he's just content to trade.
No, he still kills it.
I mean, yeah, he's killing the game, but I mean, he's content to lose the Snapcaster to the Blade Splicer.
Yeah, and then he keeps the gut shot to kill the Restoration Angel.
That's reasonable. I like that line.
Or, in case something goes wrong.
Yeah.
So far, things are looking real good for Josh.
He is attacking with Geist of St. Traft, and his opponent can't do much to stop it. That is the sign of great position in Standard these days. And Chris is content to lose his Gideon. He knows he's going to want to just Angel that Blade Splicer to try and get back in it.
It's always tough in these situations when you go Gideon and plus it without it being a surefire thing.
Yep.
You really want to be able to go Gideon and then down it in order to kill the Restoration Angel
Definitely.
to make sure you're at least progressing the board.
Runechanter's Pike. Now we have
Yet another angle of attack from Josh Crowe.
more problems.
Chris Andersen kicking himself right now for having not played that land.
All of this stemmed from that one slip. Now we've got Phantasmal Image. We can handle the Geist, and we can Phantasmal Image to kill the Geist, Restoration Angel, or Blade Splicer.
Yep, so, yeah, if he images the Geist, Josh could put the Pike on the Angel, and then Andersen Doomblades the Angel in combat.
Yep.
Trades his Blade Splicer for one of the 2 Snapcasters. On his next turn, drops Sun Titan, gets back the image, and then is able to image the Sun Titan again and get back Blade Splicer. He's got a real strong...
Got a lot of lines.
Absolutely. If this unfolds the way we think it will, and we think it will, Chris is actually in a pretty good spot. If Josh has nothing.
Just thinking over. Another possibility is you can image the Blade Splicer and then have Restoration Angel on the Blade Splicer, because killing the Geist is not that high priority if you're going to just be Sun Titaning back the image on the next turn.
Well, you need to be able to stop the fire.
I mean, you're going to take the damage, but I don't think it's lethal, so I think it's fine. He's just going to go for the Doomblade now, and the Restoration Angel. So he's going to have to throw away his... Well, I guess he's not going to... Let's see, he has to pike up the Geist here, I guess, and then that'll give Chris some more momentum when he Phantasmal Images on the next turn, having thrown away those 2 resources, I guess.
Well, even if it wears a Pike, it hasn't really accomplished all that much.
Yeah, the Golem can still block it.
Right.
And successfully kill it.
Unless he has a gut shot.
Or a Mutagenic Growth.
Dun dun dun.
Both of which cards we expect he may very well have. Just this one. And there's the Angel. Chris makes his block. Mutagenic Growth. That's a rough one. Do you think we should have played it safe by blocking with the Angel as well?
I mean, how big is the pike? It's
that's a fair point. I don't actually know if it can. Well, with the Mutagenic Growth, it's 1, 2. It's only +2, so it would have been a 6/4 Geist. So that would have been enough. But we're dead to like any other instant or whatever in response. So I guess that's probably fair. Image this time.
And the Blade Splicer? Oh,
Lingering Souls.
Sure.
All right. Now we've reached that position where Pike is running into Lingering Souls and just not doing enough.
Yeah, interesting. It looks like Chris is back to the driver's seat. I mean, Runechanter's Pike is many things. Sword of War and Peace, it is not.
No, and that is, I did a deck tech with Chris actually, and he cited Sword of War and Peace as just the biggest problem card for his deck. If they can get one down and actually start scoring hits, it's very hard for him to do anything.
So, Snapcaster picks up Runechanter's Pike. Something.
The Abyss is not so painful in this game.
Josh, having successfully built a copy, the Abyss, attacks.
We're going to throw away our Blade Splicer to get a better Sun Titan target.
Sounds good.
Or should I say Phantasmal Image target?
Sure. As long as he doesn't walk face first into a mana leak right here.
Delver gives Josh a flying threat, which is a much better Abyss, but against this board, the same.
There's the Cavern on Giants, presumably.
I imagine he's naming Giant, yeah.
Sun Titan.
Sunny T. Fetching
Phantasmal
Image into Blade Splicer, I imagine, based on his play last turn. If he has an untapped land, I guess it's theoretically possible we want to get that and Lingering Souls flashback, but that's not what we're doing.
Just gets back to the Blade Splicer.
Osip joins the Tim Ayton duo. And we feel comfortable enough to start attacking. Which I would too, here. Multiple 6/6s on the board. No Sever the Bloodlines in sight.
Is that Osip?
Josh Scoops. I believe so.
Yeah, can we get a rolling on the floor?
Ruling on the Pro Player card, Oracle text.
I wonder what the Oracle text of Osip's Pro Player card is. I can't imagine that it's anything that's actually grounded in reality. Like
I should hope not. That would be a severe letdown.
Yeah,
really.
a flavor break.
Flavor break, yeah.
All right, so Chris Andersen, 1-0, takes the lead over Josh Crowe.
Looks
Andersen
a little elated.
with Esper mid-range. What's he got in the sideboard?
Sideboard has a lot of bullets. I know he said that the best card for him today has been Intangible Virtue, which he brings in against Delver and against Curse decks to give him more control during combat with Lingering Souls and Blade Splicer.
Sure.
So I imagine we'll see that one, hopefully.
He'll probably bring in Cavern of Souls.
I imagine. Cavern against the Mana Leaks, although a lot of Delver players board out their counters in matchups like this one. I don't know if Josh can afford to do that based on all these big cards he has to be afraid of.
The fact that he's seen Gideon and Sun Titan game 1, he's not going to take out Mana Leak.
Since he has seen Pike, Chris might not bring in Oblivion Ring because Pike is not that big of a problem compared to Sword, and Oblivion Ring is not that great. I think he probably wants the one Divine Offering he has, though. The blow-up potential is pretty huge on that.
It's hard, though, with just a couple pieces of equipment. It can be really good. So he'll probably... I think you're right. I think he will have the one. Do you think he'll adapt the Consecrated Sphinx?
It's funny because Chris actually cited Consecrated Sphinx as a card he feels he's tricked into playing a lot. He hasn't been bitten by it yet, whereas other people, the Phantasmal Image Vapor Snag your Sphinx has not happened to him, and he thinks his day might come, but he still likes the Sphinx enough. I don't know if he'll bring it in. I think I would want this other Sun Titan before the first Sphinx, probably.
Absolutely, so that you can play around Vapor Snag.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Beyond that, I don't expect many adjustments.
Actually, Nile Spellbound is going to be fantastic for him. It's always good against
Pike.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's always good against Snapcaster Mage. And it's another thing you can do with your Sun Titan, but it's just super good against Pike. It's so much better than Divine Offering it, just because you get to solve the problem and draw a card, and even when they don't have the equipment, it cycles.
Yep. Looking at Josh's sideboard, I imagine he'll bring in that Sword of War and Peace. He's got one. I don't think we'll see Spectral Flight, with Lingering Souls being in the equation. He's going to want to try and get rid of these some of these gut shots of mutagenic growths, at least, I imagine. He doesn't have a lot in the sideboard. Phantasmal Image is okay, not especially great against Chris's deck, I would say.
Right.
Gives him a way to copy Blade Splicers and Sun Titans. It doesn't look like he has a lot, actually. His mental missteps are much worse in this matchup than they are against actual Delver decks.
Yep, and the gut shots and mutagenic growths aren't what he really wants.
No, he's a little
there's
late.
a good chance he's probably just going to look at that counter magic, like Dissipate, Mana Leak, those types of cards, just because he needs something. You know, the Sword of War and Peace is for sure a superstar, but the counter magic might just be the best of a mediocre bunch of what else is available.
I think he's just going to bring in those three. It is possible he'll add in the second mutagenic growth because it can do a lot of the things that a gut shot can do in the matchup that he would want. Like, it can kill a Phantasmal Image, it can let his Restoration Angel beat another one. It can also function as a combat trick against Gideon, which can be surprisingly relevant. Turn your Snapcaster Mage into a Flame Rift.
It's always interesting to see how many of these decks just are on the gut shot mutagenic growth program game one. When they get sideboarded out so often. I mean, there's a very few number of cards in this deck that ever really get boarded out. You know, like the Phyrexian mana cards, the mana leaks, and that's most of it, right?
Yeah. I always struggle sideboarding because there's always, I want to try different permutations or whatever, and I feel like, I'll shave you like this cantrip, shave this cantrip.
Oh, that's the wrong way.
I know, I'm so greedy.
It's so tempting to try to board out the cantrips, but
I never do more than two, and it's always
more than two.
Different.
No,
I know.
No. But it's tough, particularly when you're on the draw and you're like, well,
I get that.
I'll get an extra land anyway. Yeah.
I lose my fair share to the mana screws. Although I did go through a nice 8-game stretch or something with a UU's deck where I either never got a second land or always kept 4. A fun divergence in my results.
So Andersen?
Looks like Mana Light there?
Yeah.
Yep.
Just the one land and no library manipulation, so throws it back. Meanwhile, Josh is content to keep his grip.
I see his Sword of War and Peace, I think. The one of
wow,
is in the hand.
That's the best thing you could hope for right here.
That's the best. I think we have confirmation on that. Sword of War and Peace? Definitely, yep.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That is not what Chanderson's going to want to see.
Well, that's part one of this planning to beat the Lingering Souls deck, is definitely assemble our best card. Josh playing it cool. Glance to the left. A little less cool, however, I don't know what's going on.
Pantomiming is a lost art that is not lost on Josh.
No. I imagine they're discussing a little bit of the game.
Probably having a good chuckle about that whole Seachrome Coast debacle.
Yeah. I believe that's what they're talking about after the game. Chris seemed like very, I came back there.
Exciting match so far.
It looks like Chris deep in thought now. Over what? Well, we kept and we have been successfully probed. We have our 2 sweet lands, and we did bring in that Consecrated Sphinx.
Probing deep for information here. Seachrome Coast to Darkslick Shores. The Sphinx, Snapcaster, 2 Ponders. All things considered, a fantastic 6 for Chris.
A very strong 6, but one of the problems with Probe is now Josh knows that Chris can't really interact with him a lot early. He's going to be just trying to get threats down as quickly as he can.
Yeah, but fortunately, 2 Ponders with the right colors of mana all coming into play untapped
can put Josh into a weird spot where he can just expect everything at the same time, despite having Probe.
Chris basically has 3 Demonic Tutors in his hand.
It can feel very similar.
And a Grizzlebrand. That's pretty much his grip.
Another
Chris
land.
plays a Seachrome Coast of his own. Ponders himself. Because why not? He deserves it.
He does. Is that a cavern in the middle? I think it is. Can't really see any other cards. Go for the throat. Something blue. Just thinking it over.
Time is on his side. Yes, it is.
I do think that was a cavern. Well, that's going to get interesting. Uncounterable Sphinxes, oh my.
We're going to see another Ponder come down? This time it's a probe.
Casting for the mana.
Pay the retail.
And now we see the cavern. And it's situations like this where it's kind of important how you order your ponders, because it's pretty relevant to have that go for the throat in the top of the deck instead of the bottom.
Absolutely.
Or instead of the hand.
Although he does have to be careful of the potential for his opponent to thought scour him.
That's true.
You know, particularly if his opponent has thought scour and probe and goes probe you, see that you don't have anything, realize you must have kept it on top, and then thought scour you.
That is a high level. I don't know. I don't think I'm on that level.
Josh showing Moorland Haunt, Geist of St. Traff, Sword of War and Peace, Glacial Fortress, Vapor Snag, Restoration Angel.
Just
and
the full
no
blown.
fear.
I have a feeling that we know what Josh's next few turns are going to look like.
So which do you think he'll play next turn, the Sword or the Geist?
I think he will stick the Geist.
Now Chris doesn't have any counter magic, and he knew that last turn.
Yeah.
But he's seen two cards since then.
I think that he probably expects Chris to also have shaved Mana Leaks himself, to be honest. Geist. We're just going to get on the board while we know that Chris is vulnerable. He has the Restoration Angel to protect it from Snapcaster Mage blocking next turn. Divine Offering, our one of from Chris. One of the finer Divine Offering arts, I might add.
And it's going to be real exciting when he does it to that Sword of War and Peace.
Yes, it is. I think Chris has all the tools he needs now for this game. He has Go for the Throat for the
Well, he still needs to deal with the
He
Geist.
needs to handle the Geist, but as soon as he manages to actually stick one of these creatures, that problem will resolve itself, I think.
Yeah, I mean, he's only got 4 turns, though. And the Geist definitely, it gets the business done real quick, like. As is the case with most standard matches, we're watching one gentleman resolve a ponder while the other waits.
Now, an awkward moment could come up next turn where we're probably going to wind up needing to Go for the Throat the Angel, but when we still have 2 mana up, Josh might not be willing to run his Sword of War and Peace in there. He knows we have a ponder, why wouldn't Chris cast it? Rune Chanter's Pike. I guess that's fine.
Rune Chanter's Pike is very effective. Wow, and that's going to draw the Divine Offering.
That probably will be enough to draw it.
Which will, in turn, pave the way for Josh's Sword of War and Peace plan to spring from left field.
That's reversed the texture of this game significantly. Don't do it, Chris. Don't throw away your Snapcaster. You can use it next turn once you kill that Rune Chanter's Pike. No.
Is that even true? I mean, isn't Josh just going to gut shot it or something?
Well, we don't think he doesn't have a gut shot, at least as far as we know. We know he drew Pike this next turn. He has Restoration Angel, which if he's forced to play that, he'll be tapping out, and we'll have our Go for the Throat online. If he does, we throw it away. Well, that saves us a fair bit of life.
You know, 7 points. Is it? I guess it's only 5 though.
It's a pretty good number, good sized chunk. Blade Splicer.
I mean, I've been asked harder questions, but definitely seems like he just wants to buy himself some time.
Yeah.
Now the question is, what is he going to do?
I think we have to jam Blade Splicer. We know the Restoration Angel's there, but we're not getting. We need to just block and defend ourselves from this position.
Absolutely. He's behind a little bit on the board, and if he spends a turn to Divine Offering the Rune Chanter's Pike, he's still facing down a Geist.
Yep.
Plus, the Sword is going to make it just even worse next turn.
I think we're going Ponder into Blade Splicer here. The Blade Splicer can stop the Geist and the Pike for a couple of turns, which is nice.
Yeah, if Josh doesn't have an answer.
It's possible that Chris is going to try and win this game blocking the Pike rather than using his Divine Offering for quite some time.
What he really needs is to find one of the 3 images he has after boarding.
Yes.
Shuffling
Shuffling up.
Serious business. The Blade Splicer is super nice against red-green, but in the mirror, it's super nice when you can just count on getting. You can clear the way for your Geist so easily.
He does still know Josh has a Vapor Snag also, so that's worth considering.
After a quick bit of the old shuffling, Chris is going to draw a card.
It's a Lingering Souls. That's something.
He still wants the Blade Splicer to come down.
I'm gonna make sure that we get from the director what the Cavern of Souls winds up naming, because Sphinx or another type could be pretty relevant here.
Absolutely.
I think he's asking the judge there.
Although the way the matches are going, I wouldn't be surprised if he just does it as a bluff and he names Giant.
That's true.
I mean, that's some next level type of technology, but...
Blade Splicer. Probably counterable. That's my gut instinct says counterable.
And we're going to find out, does Josh have an answer to a 3-3 golem?
He's already got that
he's
snag.
got the snag in hand. It's going to be a beatdown.
Probing. See how good
First he
shape we're
probes
in.
him, and then he gets ready to...
This is pretty rough for Chris, because all of these cards, for the most part, are reactive, and now Josh knows exactly what he has to be dodging. He's not going to light 5 mana on fire against that Divine Offering. He's just going to keep jamming with Pike until Chris cries uncle and taps out.
So I'm picturing a Vapor Snag on that golem.
I think you might be right. It's possible if his plan is to just play Restoration Angel here that he does that, but I don't think that's his plan. He knows that Go for the Throat's there. He doesn't really need the additional threat. Geist is doing all this heavy lifting. Thought Scour. Well, those are both excellent cards.
The Pike continues to grow. I don't know. I think he's just gotta just play it safe. Just keep nurturing this Geist St. Traft advantage.
Yeah. It's the safest thing to do in this position. Although, if Chris does manage to find Phantasmal Image,
he'll be right back in it.
Yep. Blade Splicer quickly bites the dust.
Geist with Pike is a very lethal combination. Basically anything that can ensure that your Geist doesn't die in combat.
Pretty lethal in combination.
Yeah.
Delver of Secrets gives us a threat. We don't mind getting Go for the Throated. Chris probably can't even spend that kind of time on that card.
So what do you think? Are we going to see a Lingering Souls and
so.
a Divine Offering?
I think it's Lingering Souls, Divine Offering. He just has to do it, and he's gonna get smashed by that Sword of War and Peace when he does.
Yeah. I mean,
he knows that
he knows he has a
it,
sword, so he can hold the Divine Offering and target the Divine Offering for the sword. You know?
He can, but I don't know if he can survive long enough doing it that way.
Well, I mean, if he taps out to do Divine Offering on the Pike, he just dies immediately.
Is it? Yeah, you're right. It's just lethal. His hand's so full. Yeah. Oh, he only has Evolving Wilds. He doesn't even have a 5th land, actually. I thought that was another
that's a tough way to do it.
Cavern. That's not good. Yeah, he just has to go. I don't know what we're doing.
Well, I don't
know. I guess he has
Josh
to go
doesn't have a
for
5th land
Angel.
yet.
Yeah, that's true. I'll just put Josh on the hopes. Go for the Delver.
Yep.
Okay.
And now he's just on the hope you don't have a 5th land plan.
Yeah.
Tough way to do it.
There weren't many good lines for Chris from this position. All of them require very unlikely things to happen. We hit a Mana Leak, which, while not a land, is probably enough to lock up the game, I think.
Well, it depends on what that Cavern's on. Because, you know, this knocks Andersen down to 5, but a Phantasmal Image and he's right back in it.
Chris, he does have a Glacial Fortress, actually. He concealed the fact that he has an untapped land.
Right, so when he Evolving Wilds here, that'll be 5. He'll play the Glacial Fortress for 6, and he can drip Consecrated Sphinx. He draws 2 cards, blocks. You know, he can beat the board.
I don't think he can beat the board if Josh just passes. If he Consecrates Sphinx and it's uncounterable, he'll just get Restoration Angel during the end step and die to that.
That's true.
I think Josh has the full lock if he just doesn't tap a land during his turn.
I mean, Andersen can still play Phantasmal Image.
Yes, if he does that. Well, then he'd have to...
No,
well, he just burned his Go for Third Divine Offering. He'd have to have the Lingering Souls and the Phantasmal and shit. That's his only way out. So he does have to peel. That's fair. If he peels the Phantasmal Image...
Well, he's not dead immediately. Because the Angel only knocks him to 2. The Image will stop the Geist.
Yeah.
So he's got a little bit...
Well, no, he has to worry about the sword, I guess. But I guess maybe he's just hoping Josh doesn't hit that 5th land.
Yeah,
that's just his pure hope.
It's like sometimes you don't really have the luxury of worrying about things.
It is one of my fondest things to pretend everything that might kill me does not exist.
Now, does he know about the Restoration Angel?
Yes, he knows about the Restoration Angel. It was there on the very first probe on like turn 2.
Ah, there's another Doomblade.
Another Doomblade, but not the image we need. So we're going to play our Sphinx and die to the Angel.
Kind of a curious line. Why doesn't he just cast Lingering Souls?
I think he just casts Lingering Souls and has the Doomblade for the Angel.
Right.
That's a much better line, but I think Chris might even be realizing...
Better than certain death. Goes into the tank, comes out with not certain death. Oh, nope. Goes back to it. Puts himself out of his misery.
I feel like this was sort of a give up from Chris. Yep. He kind of, shrugged his hands like, yeah, I'm dead.
And that's it. Yep. They go to game 3. Yeah, I mean, if he would have Lingering Souls there...
He still can peel image on the next turn. And
Restoration Angel comes down, he Doomblades the Restoration Angel, he can Lingering Souls, double block the Geist if he doesn't have a land. I mean, he could actually be live,
Could be.
Rough straight, but... Alright, so far...
I think we've seen mostly what we expected, yeah.
Yep. Well, what do you think of this trend that these Esper decks have been adopting one Volt of the Archangel?
Actually, I remember MJ at the Invitational, I covered one of his matches, and he said he was so mad that he only had one. He actually, I think he had a Moorland Hunt in his list still there, or a Cavern. Or I think it was Cavern, actually. He said he should have cut a Cavern for another Vault, that it had been so good for him. And I've definitely seen it perform a lot, especially because Blade Splicer gives you so much power in a short
First
span of
Strike.
Time. Yep. The First Strike with Death Touch is incredibly relevant.
Plus the Lingering Souls tokens, when they all become Death Touch, can take down an entire army, an entire aggressive army.
It is a dismal day for attacking decks when that particular combination comes online. And with Chris's Intangible Virtue out of the board, which he, like I said, in hindsight, he wishes he had more of them, Vault is even more devastating. Shuffling Silence this time.
Chris trying to pull it together.
Yeah.
He's got to tough it up. He's going to be on the play this game.
It's a nice advantage.
And on deck, he this is in his element. I mean, this is what he wanted to face.
It's true.
Hopefully both players stay at 7 and we have another good close game.
Yeah. It was a good game. It was really interesting to see the way the Pike impacted that game. Because it was a completely different organization of threats and answers, and then the Pike just completely changed how Chris had to prioritize all of his cards. Especially since he knew Sword of War and Peace was waiting in the wings. Chris has that going over the game in his head look, I think. Now he has that
looking over
talking to someone else.
The adoring fans. Now we've seen Josh at a different. We saw him at another Open, didn't we?
I do know I've seen him. To be honest, they blur together a lot for me. I don't remember what the last one was. I know he was doing well. Yeah, not even. Starting with Seachrome Coast and Ponder for Chris.
I predict he keeps.
I see a Lingering Souls, looks like a Cavern of Souls, and breaking our Souls theme, I think it's a Blade Splicer. Could be an Evolving Wilds. I've been tricked before. We did keep.
You looked like the type of guy who was keeping no matter what.
Are those Drowned Catacombs, and do we have ways to make them untapped? I'm curious. No, we already have a Cavern in our hand. Looks pretty good. We got a bunch of spells. Checking over with Josh Crowe. Shuffles up, keeps his on top, sorry. Evolving Wilds. So I think that's what we saw in the Ponder. The Cavern still in his hand. Yeah, on the far left there. Josh with another Seachrome Coast. Chris is going to go ahead and save some time. Or maybe Josh has no play.
I think Josh has no play.
I think he's going to get swamped because I thought I saw a Drowned Catacomb, and he really wants that land to come into play on tap.
Maybe he'll just get an island. Yeah, if he's actually got a Drunk Catacomb.
Oh yeah, it's probably almost strictly better.
Yeah, I didn't know if he had a black source. Oh, he does get the swamp.
He does get the swamp. I think we're satisfied that Josh has no play on turn 2 here, so I think that we're probably going to wind up caverning Human in order to play through Leak, but I don't know. We know that Cavern on Giant is by far the more backbreaking. Even Cavern on Angel can be more powerful. So let's see what happens.
I'm looking forward to some Caverns on Dragons with M13 hits. Human.
And dragons live in caverns, so really that's the most flavor efficient name.
Sign up for standard in box number 2. Please report to be man in stage.
God, can you imagine if that was a Geist of St. Traff right there?
We are probing. Let's use land, Snapcaster Mage, Restoration Angel, go for the throat. Pretty good hand, but not an especially great hand against Geist of St. Traff, which Josh has in his hand.
I always love the old probe you. Alright, you can keep those.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Josh predictably jams his Geist down here.
So now we have the classic matchup. Geist of St. Traff versus Blade Splicer.
I thought you were going to say Geist of St. Traff versus Doomblade.
I love it. The Blade Splicer is swinging. What's he going to do? Not respect mutagenic growth?
That was interesting.
Nice little value.
Value
point.
What are we going to do? We have our Sword of Worm piece again.
Interesting. He knows he's against Divine Offering, though.
In the deck, yeah. It wasn't one in the hand.
Oh, it wasn't in his hand?
Nope.
Oh, that's right. Snapcaster Mage, Doomblade.
Snapcaster, yep.
Or go for the throat and Restoration Angel.
He has 2 go for the throats now after his draw step. I think we're going to be Snapcastering that Ponder real soon. We need a card that has text.
Yes.
Snapcaster?
Vapor. As predicted?
Nope. Ponder. Okay.
Ponder. What's he going to find?
So I guess that means... Oh, he already has a snag. This is curious. I think he's content to just not attack this turn, maybe. Unless... I don't see a mutagenic growth.
No. He's probably not attacking.
Okay. Now that he has a land, he can threaten, sword, and equip in the same turn. Accidentally playing a 5th land a little early there.
Little trigger happy.
Ironic, Josh too eager to get Seacrum Coast onto the field, and Chris not quite eager enough.
Too eager.
Chris going on offense with the Restoration Angel and the Golem this turn, probably. I think if you attack with one, you have to attack with both, don't you? Like, I don't know.
Very aggressive.
That's how you make that 1 point you snuck in worth it, you know? You attack for even more points. We know we have Snapcaster Mage, we have Go for the Throat. I don't know. I think I like attacking with both. I vastly prefer attacking to not attacking in most instances, though. I've been accused of being a little too offensive on more than one occasion.
Glenn?
Yes. Okay.
We're going to have to talk to you about how offensive you're being. You just keep attacking every turn.
It's one of a small running joke at Starseed from time to time when I'm posed with a play situation. It's almost always just the most aggressive of the attacking options.
I can see that.
We've got that sword down now. He's just going to go ahead and deploy it. Not have to worry about leaks or other shenanigans. Ponder. We like that card. Let's take a look.
Interesting. The 2 golems can hold off the Geist even if it picks up the sword.
Yep. Well, we know Josh has a Vapor Snag in his hand. Chris does not know that.
It's gonna be a blowout.
It's not so as bad as it seems, since you would have had to block with at least one golem anyway. So like you're gonna get snagged either way. You're gonna lose a golem either way. These are just the things that happen.
Yeah.
Clocking in for 3 here. Another Restoration Angel. Make another Golem. Golems aplenty. Oh, now that we've got 3, we got to get the Tim brothers out. The brothers Tim. 1 snag. Do we have Snapcaster or another snag? I'm not gonna lie, all I can see is a blue card. Oh, we have Phantasmal Image to Snapcaster our snag, so we definitely have one. I think that's our play, isn't it? Just equip Snapcaster the other Golem token.
He might make a Restoration Angel and blink out his own Snapcaster.
Oh yeah, that's much better, obviously.
But he chooses the Snapcaster.
Oh, he is doing
He
the correct play. Chris running through the ramifications of that one in his head, I imagine. This is bad being the... Oh, it may be... I think he may have Phantasmal Image tapped the Snapcaster, and Chris is claiming that he just immediately copied Snapcaster. Now he's adjusting the play.
That's time in round 6.
Do we know how much extra time they have?
Not sure. Can we get a read on the time? I think what I described is exactly what happened. Chris is asking the judge. He's saying he did this. Now Josh is saying, no, I meant to do this. Each calmly waiting for the judge's ruling.
Cool, calm, just like my mom.
He's appealing the ruling. Yep.
Looks like the ruling was about that it was ambiguous enough.
That's what appears to be going on here. I think I see the head judge leaving the table right now, actually.
Have you seen much of M13 yet?
You know, I haven't. I've been busy. I have been busy playing Duels of the Planeswalkers a little bit, so I've seen those cards.
Ah, the Duels 2013?
Yes, I have.
What are your thoughts on Duels 2013 so far?
It was fun. It was pretty easy for me for most of it. Nicol Bolas threw me for a loop when Cruel Ultimatum came a couple turns early on the hands of some Moxen, which I didn't expect. Spoiler alert for, I guess, a little late anyone who thinks Nicol Bolas can't Cruel Ultimatum you on turn 5.
There is always a greater power.
Thought I was doing real good with my little Chandra's Phoenix and Searing Spears. Not so much. I've liked the game a lot, though. I didn't play any of the other ones, so I only got it because it's on iPad. I would not have gotten it otherwise, so if anyone from Wizards is listening, that's a huge market they tapped into. The Glenn Jones market.
Part of it was seeing just how big of a success Ascension was on the iPad. I mean, ever since Ascension has been able to successfully make an app that lets people play whenever, Magic's, people have been talking about wanting to do it for Magic, and now they actually have it for the iPad. Super cool.
That's a huge part of what happened for Ascension 2. I know that a lot of games are moving on to iOS. I've read some articles about some of them. Seven Wonders is a good board game I've heard will be on iOS pretty soon. Yeah. There are a lot of good ones out there. So,
have you seen, is it Kaijudo?
No, I've heard of it, but I have not seen it.
Yeah, so Kaijudo is the new one coming out. It's like it's a Magic-like game by Wizards that it's based on the popular Japanese TCG Duel Masters.
Okay.
It's very much like Duel Masters. Very similar card files, slightly different mana system, but basically it's sort of like Magic, except you can play any card you want as a energy, like mental magic style, as a land, and you can also instead of having a life total, you and the other person each have 5 shields, which is like your opening hand is 5 cards, but you also have 5 cards off the top of your deck that are in front of you, and those shields are the only thing that are keeping you alive, because otherwise if your opponent hits you, then you're just dead, no matter what he hits you with. So each time you attack your opponent, first you have to attack his shields, and each time you attack a shield, if you successfully damage it, you break it, but they draw the card. So it's sort of got a little bit of a balancing thing where the more you're getting beat down, the more cards you get to draw to try to make it interesting.
Yeah, it's a very similar mechanic to Pokemon back in the day. It's actually a reversal. In that game, when you killed a guy, you got a card. So in this game, they kill your guy, you get a card instead.
Right. And
that's interesting.
It's also, let's see. Other than that, biggest difference. No, I mean that's the main thing.
The bulk of it.
Yeah, and it plays out very Magic-like. It's definitely aimed a little bit primarily for the slightly younger audience, but it's an incredible portal. It's like like Yu-Gi-Oh is very much mostly just about the TV show and about the brand and the game, the toys. The Kajudo and Duel Masters are like a real TCG. It's like a real strategy game. It's certainly one that's a little bit less deep than Magic, but it comes from the same vein, and it's an awesome game to be somebody's first TCG, you know?
Sure, so you'd say it's more designed to introduce people to the genre, whereas Yu-Gi-Oh! Is all about tying them just to that brand specifically.
Yes.
Okay. It's interesting. Yeah, if you're out there and you have an iPad, I do recommend Duels. I can't speak for other platforms, and confess that I won't be able to speak for other platforms, although I'm looking forward to getting my Foil Sarah Avatar promo for the iPad. I found out from Ruben Bressler that was included. I actually did not even know. At the office, he saw it on my iPad. He's like, "Oh, you get your Sarah Avatar yet?" I was like, "Oh, what? What's going on?" Chris is dissatisfied with this ruling. I can tell.
He's outraged.
Yeah.
Smiling, but I think he's going to throw his glasses on the ground and storm out.
All right, well, he knows that that's going to be a tougher battle. His opponent now has a flyer that can actually block his little flying army. That was his plan to race this card.
Your pairings have been posted in yellow paper on the H2L pairings board.
He does have those Go for the Throat, so he can remove the Phantasmal Image from his path, but it will cost him time and mana to do it.
I mean, there's no two ways about it. He needs to get a fast Phantasmal Image double quick.
Double quick. If Josh is on nothing, then another Blade Splicer or Restoration Angel might be enough to buy him enough time.
You know, if he just takes... No, he can't take it because the sword would cause him to gain too much life.
Too much.
So hey, he's got 11 power on the table.
I think we're seeing Snapcaster Ponder, and then if we miss Image, we'll see a Go for the Throat on that Angel from Chris next turn.
Pretty intense game.
Yeah.
At least he's got a little bit of life to work with. Still can't really afford to get hit by that sword, though.
Did we let the sword hit us? I think we did.
Wow.
Whoa, this is interesting. Gideon Jura.
Huh.
Well, that will keep sword from hitting us for a little while. I think we want that Angel off the field first, though. Unless maybe our play is to just play Gideon, pass, and eat his creatures.
Huh.
That doesn't appear to be the play Chris wants to do.
That's not even that bad.
No, it's not.
No, I think if you just drop Gideon here, you're in good shape.
He might be dropping
attacks.
Gideon while attacking. Maybe that's his plan. He's just going to use Gideon as a fog effect basically this turn to reverse the race in his favor.
But why? Why not just eat his guy?
Well, he has 12. If Josh cannot muster another creature, he has lethal on the board. He has exactly 11 damage. He can go for the third Moorland Haunt token if it tries to block, and he'll be able to deal Josh exactly 11 while the sword does not hit his face.
Huh.
So, an aggressive line from Chris.
Tense.
I think that's his plan here. Snapcaster? Rune Chanter's play, maybe he threw it off to the side. I can't really see what that one is if we could get it moved over. It costs 2 mana. It's a Snapcaster, okay. Or perhaps a Phantasmal Image, theoretically, but... Who gets that lucky twice? Snapcaster Mage it is, okay. And now our 3/4... Oh, everything's coming because we have to at Gideon. Will he send the Angel at Gideon or at Chris? Because that is how that works. I hope that's an Angel token. Okay, it is. Just making sure we remembered that one. My guess is he's going to send it at Chris.
So, a Phantasmal Angel, a Snapcaster Mage, a 4/4 Angel token, and a Geist of St. Traft wearing a Sword of War and Peace, all swinging at Gideon Jura.
Yeah.
I think they're all attacking, right?
I think the Angel has to go at Gideon because Gideon's not taking lethal otherwise.
Right.
It's 7 if the Angel token does not go in. So that's just how he has to do it. I'm sure he's not happy about that.
And Josh is actually at 11, right? Because he did take the sword hit, but then he took 3 last turn, knocking him back down to 11.
We're double checking those life totals, guys. It appears we may have a discrepancy.
A failure to agree on reality.
Yeah. It's an imperfect system, a lot of relays. Sort of like a game of instant messaging telephone, if you will.
So what do you think? Who do you like here? This is close.
It's real close. Josh has a blocker, and Chris no longer has lethal because of the Vapor Snag. I think I still like Chris because he's got the go for the throat. I think he can race the sword, maybe? Well, I don't know. Josh has a lot of cards in his hand. It's real tough.
I love the wild tactics that emerge from this matchup.
Chris, oh, the Angel did attack Chris, it looks like. Or was that the sword not being calculated before? No, they...
Probably.
I don't know.
Who can tell? All that's clear is that nothing's clear.
Yes.
He needs to deal with that Geist of St. Traft with a sword in a hurry, or he is a goner.
Here's our Snapcaster for the Ponder, as predicted. Or maybe not for Ponder. We're not immediately using it, so... This is curious.
Curiouser and curiouser.
Oh, we just... I feel like I might have missed something. I'm not sure, though. I guess we have a blue blocker for that Geist, and that's like our plan. We're just all in on being blue.
Sure hope he can't kill a one toughness creature.
Or bounce it. Josh is shuffling. It appears to indicate he may not be able to do that, actually. He does not have another snag left in his graveyard, so any various Snapcastery effects are not going to be enough.
And this is turn 0 of extra time.
This is turn 0, okay.
The game is down to the wire.
That's where they separate the men from the boys.
And the boys from their little ponies. Pretty sure that's how it goes in there.
Interestingly, because of the nature of time, attacks have to be really carefully considered. The
nature of time?
The nature of being in time. The person who has the last turn has a massive advantage with being able to plan attacks. They do not have to attack as aggressively. Josh, of course, has to attack with his Geist to at least get rid of the Snapcaster Mage, if nothing else. He has turned it sideways, but he has not yet made an Angel token. Okay. Gotta watch that. I predict a block. Chris willing to go to 1 here? He knows he's dead to a snag, and that's probably the only card left in Josh's deck.
He
that
was
deals
dead to
him
a snag
damage.
anyway.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he already was dead, so he knows that Josh doesn't have it.
And he's probably imagining that he would have boarded out his gut shots, but you
Exactly.
don't know. You never know.
Mutagenic Growth's the only card he should generally be fearing, I think. So he's just content to take it and move on with his life. His one life.
Under pressure.
Restoration Angel is a nice one for Josh. He's going to go ahead and ponder again with a Snapcaster Mage. Now, interestingly, I might have considered attacking with the Snapcaster Mage if this was my line, because I might have been able to get one of those blocks from a token. I don't know.
Chris untaps.
Snapcaster Mage.
He has go for
His
the
go
throat.
for the throat for an Angel.
And he's got 5 in
And
the
he's
air.
got 5 in the air.
This should be game. He wants to make sure he hasn't missed something.
Yep. I send in those Blade Splicers too. Let's
And
do
Chris
this.
Andersen, Mr. Andersen, takes the title.
All right.
Or at least the game.
What a
once again.
tight game.
2-1.
1-0 on the life totals at the end of that game.
Yep, very, very close. A game of inches. Andersen with his Esper mid-range deck, up 2-1, taking the match against Josh